Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a little video on how to fix your 2013 through 2015 MacBook Pro overheating issue. Sorry about the wonky format. I'm going to work on that in the future. Alright, so first things first, let's address the issue. So my 2014 MacBook Pro is constantly overheating, and it thermal throttles even though it has I guess it's proper cooling, but you know Apple, they like to keep things small and compact. So I thought to myself, hey, instead of buying a new MacBook, I thought I would just try changing out the thermal compound. And for those of you that don't know what that is, I have a container here. It is CP7 high density cryo paste. This is from Cryo Rig actually, and I have this because of my aftermarket cooler here, for my processor on my desktop. So we're going to be using a little bit of that because I know it's high quality. Any other thermal paste will do, but this is the one that I chose and that I had easiest access to. So what we're going to do is, but first of all, what we're going to need is our supplies for cleaning said thermal paste. So to get inside the laptop, you're gonna need these precision screwdrivers. I got these from Amazon. It was like $6 for 3 of them. As you can see here, we have, it's kind of hard to see, we have 2 tiny Torx screwdrivers here, and then 1 tiny Phillips. All right, and the kit also comes with a cleaning cloth and kind of like a plastic tool where you can disconnect electronics from. So I'll put those back in my bag here. And then we're going to have coffee filters. Funny enough, these are great for cleaning thermal paste only because they don't leave residue. Alright, and the next thing that's important is our isopropyl alcohol. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove all of the screws on the bottom of the MacBook. And that can be done with small star screwdriver. I don't know what size exactly it is because I ripped off the tag. But look at precision screwdriver set on Amazon, and these should pop up. So we're gonna remove those right now. I'll probably fast forward through this to save you the pain. Alright, so the next part is gonna require your plastic separator tool that I mentioned earlier. And basically what we're going to do is use this to go around the edges of the MacBook to lift up the rear cover. So I'm going to kind of pry it with my hands here so I can fit the plastic tool in there and just kind of separate it at the edges. Get it all in there before I could pry it up just like that. There we go. Just like that, the back comes off. Place that aside for later. And now we are looking at the inside of the MacBook. As you can see, we have, I'll throw this in just for a bonus. Right here is the SSD on all 2013 through 2015 MacBook Pros. This is a 256 gigabyte SSD here. And this can be upgraded. Little known fact, but I thought I'd throw it in. All right, and as you can see here, here is our heatsink that covers our GPU and our CPU. So we're going to have to unscrew all of this to take it off. But first things first, it's really important, we need to disconnect the battery before we start any sort of electrical work in our computer. It's kind of finicky here. Alright. You know what? Alright, get that out of there. It's kind of difficult to get to. Typical Apple fashion. There we go. Got that unplugged because their pull tab made it kind of easy. And then we're going to take each of these rubber grommets off right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to pry those off right now. I shall use my rubber separator tool and my fingers to carefully take each one off. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. All right. So next thing we're gonna do is unbolt, well, not unbolt, but unscrew all of these star bits. And there's one Phillips right here. I don't know why they did that. You know, Apple. They have one Phillips right here, but the rest of these are gonna be the same star screwdriver that we use to undo the laptop, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look at that just to be sure. Just kidding. All right, so these bolts right here are gonna be 6 sides instead of 5. So we're gonna dig out my other screwdriver here so we can get that open. There we go, 6-sided. And we're gonna begin the process. Don't mind my voice crack there, you know. It is what it is. But this is a very easy fix to do if you're not in the market for a new MacBook and your current one is overheating. So I threw in a little bit of information just in case you want to update or upgrade your SSD, as well as, you know, the main video to upgrade your cooling. All right, so the 4 main brackets are out there. So now we're gonna take out the main ones for the heatsink. Here we go. 1. And the last one is gonna require our small Phillips. So get out your Phillips precision driver and take that out ever so easily. All right. All right. And make sure all your screws are separated just for repair purposes. It makes it easy, you know. All right. And then we're gonna lift up this plastic grommet here, and the whole thing should just come out just like that, as you can see. All right, and here we are greeted by, as you can see, the cooling system. And we have the thermal paste right here on the CPU and GPU. All right, so let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. No, I'm just kidding. We have to clean all of this off, all the old thermal paste off. So we're gonna grab our coffee filters. It's funny because I read online that these are the best to clean your delicate electronic surfaces with. So we're gonna dab a little bit of isopropyl alcohol onto our coffee filter. All right, and now we are just gonna simply go at the GPU and CPU with said coffee filter. You can see how easy that cleans it right off, right? So we're just gonna continue doing that around all the edges. Make sure it's all cleaned up. You might have to use more than one for this, so just, you know, use as much as you need. But not too much, or else you'll spill like I did. Alright, get all that in there. And isopropyl alcohol, you might ask why I'm using isopropyl alcohol. It's safe on delicate electronic components such as a CPU and or GPU. Smell is a little strong, but it's bearable for the work, the job that we're doing right now. So get all in the crevices. Make sure all the old thermal compound is removed from your chips. As you can see, it's nice and sparkly. Nice and shiny. Look at that. All right. And then we are going to clean off the cooling system. As you can see here, Apple did a crap job with the cooling system, so we're going to clean that off right now. Get your isopropyl, just a little dab. And we're going to clean this off here. Just like so. Just like so. Look at that. The thermal compound is literally crusting off. That's literally how old this is. Ugh. So we're going to grab another coffee filter here. All right. And then we're going to get on this one more time here. The carbon, not carbon, but the copper cooling system. I guess you could call it that. I wouldn't say cooling pipe because, well, you know, Apple likes to have their own little technical definitions. So you know how that goes. All right, so just gonna clean this up some more to the best of my ability. This is a really, really messy job. This thermal paste is really old. Gonna grab one more filter. Like this here. And gonna throw some more isopropyl on it. Alright. Gonna grab this one more time. Give it a nice little once over. That ought to do it. That ought to do it there. Oh man. Alright, there we go. And then we are going to take another filter to dry and clean up any residue that we missed. Alright. Just like that. Nice and shiny and clean. Alright, so the next step is we are going to take our thermal compound. Make sure all the thermal paste is off here. Got to get all this off. Sorry, I missed a few pieces here. Blow that right out. Alright, so next step is we're going to take our thermal compound. Make sure my tip is clean. There's no residue coming out. Squeeze out a little bit first just to make sure that, you know, there's no crusty buildup in there. Then we're going to take a small dab. Not even, okay, so for a desktop computer, you're supposed to apply like a grain of rice. But for this, since it's so small, it's going to be half a grain of rice. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Ever so gently. There we go. And there we go. Just like that. So we're going to place that off to the side. And then we are going to reinstall our cooling system. This part is crucial because you have to get an even spread down on your pipes. Alright, we're going to put this little plastic grommet back on here. It just slides right back on. It's no big deal. Let me see here. Alright. Make sure that's in correctly. Alright, just like that, hooked on there. And the other side, hooked on there, just like that. Make sure it lines up appropriately. So it's nice and settled there. Alright. And then we're going to reinstall. Ooh, I'm trying to get a perfect line here. It's a little bit difficult. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Place it right back down here, like so, ever so carefully. There we go. And I believe we have a nice solid bond on our thermal paste. There we go. A nice clean fit there. So now we're going to put all of our screws back in. We're going to start with that weird one Phillips screw that Apple gave us. Alright, put that one right back in here. Make sure this is going all the way in here. Alright, Apple, I see how you want to play it right now. I don't have time for these games. There we go. There's the first one. And then we're going to move over back to our 6-point precision screwdriver. This one right here. other screws. That's my mistake. I'm supposed to do it in a diagonal pattern so the thermal compound gets an even spread. My mistake. That's such a rookie mistake. So yeah, just get in a star pattern, some call it, or just crisscross applesauce, and some other people call it. Alright, get it right down on there. Next step is we're just going to reconnect our battery. So get your plastic pry tool. Alright, and then reconnect your battery. This is kind of tricky. Yeah, this is really tricky. Oh, Apple made this so difficult. Jesus. It's like, God, just let me... Alright, so I'm going to have to get some precision work in here. Alright, back down in there. And don't follow my example with touching those leads for the battery. I just couldn't get it in there any other way. But yeah, that's back in there. Make sure it's secured on both sides, like so. Alright, that's in there. That is what she said. Make sure this sticks. Okay, well, that's good enough. Alright, and this is optional, but you can reinstall your rubber standoffs to the same screws up here. Honestly, these are more helpful than I originally assumed, only because they prevent the heat from the CPU and GPU from transferring through the case, or the casing. Alright, I can install these back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. There's my other one here. Alright, and then we are just going to make sure everything's good here. Yep. Make sure there's no compound left here. Just get that out. Just gonna do a quick blow over, just because it's easy. Alright. And this isn't necessary for your process, but it certainly does help. Compressed air ultra duster. Oh, sorry. Camera moved a little bit. Alright. What we're gonna do is just dust out all our components. It's not mandatory, but you know, it's optional. Just to keep your insides clean. Alright, set that off to the side. Then we're gonna reinstall our casing, our rear casing. Now this is a pretty easy process to do. If you already have experience with computers, all the better. But definitely if you're a first timer, this isn't too hard if you follow these instructions down to a T. So I'm gonna rescrew these back in here. All right, so with all of our screws back in, we're gonna reinstall our case. All right, all this thermal compound on here. All right, so we are going to open her up and see what she does. Beautiful, classic startup sound. Let me just make sure we're all good here. All right, just block that really quick. All right, and we're in. So this is 2 days after I did the thermal compound swap. It used to get hot all the way around here, and the whole underside used to get hot on me. But now it's only hot right here. Even under heavy loads, it gets hot right here, which is appropriate because that's where the exhaust vent is. So yeah, it just stays cool to the touch now, all the way around except for right there, which is how it should be. So, you know, it worked great for me, so I do recommend this.